Hi guys, this is the Unlimited C Sharp course and our today topic is built-in variable types and C Sharp. So built-in types in every programming language, there are some built-in types. Actually, the reason behind the different type is to hold different types of data. These types are mostly similar in every programming language, and in C Sharp these types are pretty similar too, but there are a few differences. Today we will talk about these built-in types. So we can divide the built-in types in 5 categories: bool types, integral type, floating type, decimal type, and string type. Bool type. This type of data can hold only two values in C Sharp, true or false, nothing else. The type of data is very useful for checking a condition and can be used as flag. In C Sharp, bool type variable can hold only true or false. If you want to assign any other value rather than true or false in a boolean type variable, then we will get error immediately. The syntax is shown below an example of boolean types. So let's take the example. So now right here the syntax of boolean variable is write the bool. This is the data type of boolean type, and then write the name of variable. So I'm writing here is a C sharp 1 is equal to true. I'm going to store here the true value, and then another variable is fish tasty is equal to false, and then system dot console dot write line to print the value of variable is C sharp 1 output is true, and then system dot console write line to print the value of is fish tasty. So here the output false. So now run the application and get the result in the output window. So now the result is true. This one is C sharp is fun, and the next one is fish tasty, so that's really false. The next is integral types, and C sharp integral types are data types that store whole numbers without decimal points. The following are the integral types in C sharp. So S byte, byte, short, unshort, U short, short and int, U int, long and U long. So now S byte is store the minus value, and the byte is not store the minus value. It's store from 0 to 255, and the S byte is store the value and minus 128 to 127. This is the range of the data type. So signed 8-bit integer store the S byte, and unsigned 8-bit integer store the byte, and same like the S byte and byte the short, U short, int, U int, long and U long. It's just the difference of range and the remaining data types and the remaining integral types. So let's take the example. So now right here the S byte, and now its name is num1, and I'm assigned the value to 128. If so now 127. So the value is stored inside and this variable num1. So once I try to store the 129, it will get the error. So the range of S byte is from minus 128 to plus 127. So I'm going to store the minus 128, so it will be stored. So that is the range of the variable. Okay, let's the next the byte. I'm trying to store it is num2, and I'm trying to store the minus value 2. So it will not store because the byte store the unsigned variable. So let's store the 255, and once you store the 256, it will generate the error. It will get the error immediately. So this is the range. The next I'm going to create integer num3 is equal to 34 and so on. So let's try to print the max and minimum value here. So I am going to print some data types. Maximum and minimum value means their range. So now I'm going to write here system dot console dot write line, and then integer dot min value. If you want to find the minimum and maximum value of the data type, you can write here like this. You can get the value from the integer, from float, from any built-in data types by using the min value and max value. So now this is the mix. So now debug. Now the range is print here. Okay, let's it's the right. I'm going to write here the right line. So this is the min value, this is the maximum value. So if you want to print the long, U long and so on, you can write here num, and get the min and maximum value of all the integral types. So this is the simple example of how you can create the integral types and the C sharp. Floating types. In a C sharp, floating types are data types that can represent real number with decimal points. Floating types are used to represent real world values that require decimal point, such as prices, measurements, and other significant values. The following are the floating types in C sharp. Float represent a 32-bit single precision floating points numbers. Floating type variable can hold 7 to 8 digits after the precision. Double represent a 64-bit double precision floating point numbers. Double type can hold 15 to 16 digits after the precisions. So let's take the example. So now write the float data type and the variable name is x, and I'm going to assign the 34 value. So it will be stored. But once I'm at the decimal point and two digits after the decimal point, it will get error. So you need to add the f also. The compiler will know with f of the value, that is the float. And now the double. So double, its variable name is y, and I'm going to store the same value 45. So that is the floating types and C sharp. And here is the difference between the float and double is float value, once you assign the to the variable, you will need to add the f, and a double don't need any character. So and a double range is greater than and as compared to the float, and both floating types store the minus value and also the plus value. Next is decimal type. So in C sharp, the decimal type is a data type that can represent decimal numbers with up to 28 to 29 significant digits. It is a 128-bit floating point number that provide high precision for financial and monetary calculation. The syntax is similar to float. We just need to use the keyword decimal before variable name and the small letter m to make the compiler understand that is a decimal type data. So let's take the example. So write the decimal data type and the variable name is x, and I'm going to assign the value is this one. Okay, so you need also add the m. So then the compiler will know this data is actually the decimal. So then the value will be stored and the decimal variable. The next is string type. So in C sharp, the string type is a data type that represents a sequence of character. It is used to store text and is one of the most commonly used data type in a C sharp programs. A string is C sharp, and a string in a C sharp is a reference type, which means that it stores a reference to the memory location where the actual string data is stored. This allows string to be mutable, which means that their values can be changed after they are created. So let's get the example. So let's take the example. So now write the string data type, and here I'm going to name is equal to, I'm writing here the unlimited C sharp course. So here you see this is the series of character which is stored inside in the name, means text. So this is the simple syntax of string, and this is most commonly used in C sharp programs. So these are the 5 types of built-ins and C sharp. So this is the short overviews, short introduction about the built-in types and C sharps. We will discuss in detail in a later session. So if you like the video, please subscribe the Ilyasoft, like and share.